All right, welcome to today's podcast. I'm Eric Bergstrom with Joey Sparks, and before we get started, it's Music 101 for young Joey here. Joey, do you know who this is? Do you know the song?
I'm gonna go with the song name is My Girl.
Wrong. Do you know the band? Incorrect.
I do not.
And actually, you're not even close.
Oh, good.
Here, have another listen.
I know the song.
Have you
if
heard
that
this
helps.
before?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Well, you're incorrect. Again, I'm not going to tell you who it is. Maybe somebody out there will tell you. Maybe your friends will give you a bunch of you-know-what about this, because I know you heard about the last one, Nirvana, and Smells Like Teen Spirit.
I heard a little bit of feedback on that. Let me just say that.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep doing it. We will inform you. But right now, we're going to inform everyone out there about the boys' high school playoff brackets, right?
Correct, yeah. We're going to be going through the WIAA state tournament for the boys. Now, they already played the first round of action, which is really cool for us. We get to talk about that and going into the second round.
That's right. First round action for Marinette. That was a big win, their first playoff win in I think 6 or 8 years. I think it was 6 years, their first playoff win. So the fans were really excited and the players did a good job. They actually got pretty close at the end. You were at the game. I was there, of course, calling the game. And Marinette was up by, I think, about 18. And then Ashwaubenon fought their way back. But the Marines pulled it out, played smart basketball at the end to get the win.
Yeah, definitely. Marinette is a solid team, inside, outside, you name it. And they kind of got into their little bit of a rut where they'll let a team back into a game. They'll blow them out for the longest time. The lead will be 20 points, and then all of a sudden they'll get down to 10 real quick. And I think at one point it was actually down to about 6.
It was down to 6, yeah. And that was the point last year against Seymour, where Marinette was up. They had that game last year against Seymour, and it got down to about 6, and the game changed, and Seymour came back and won that game. But give credit to the Marines basketball team, the coaches, and the players. This year when it got to 6, Walker Stroming made a few good plays to change the momentum, and then Jake Petzel also made some smart plays to reverse everything that was going on and turn it into favor for the purple.
Well, exactly, and that's the biggest part of this team. Watching them over the past couple of years, you see the growth and the development from not only the coaching staff, but also, and most importantly, the players, because the coaching staff, no matter how prepared they get the players are the ones doing it. And you saw Matt Wagner hustle after the ball and go get it, make sure it was in his hands so that he could shoot the free throws at the end. And then Jake Petzel, he took care of the ball, went, Stroming, you name it. They did a great job of finishing off that game.
That's right. We'll get to their next game because I think that's a big monkey to get off their back, is getting that first playoff victory. We'll see if they can parlay that into some more success on the road here. But I don't know if we're starting there. You're going to take over and run this show a little bit today because I've been on the road a lot this week. So I got back early this morning. So you're going to be in control of the brackets, and I will be talking about it, chiming in as I can.
Well, and why don't we start there in Division II? We'll start with that matchup. Marinette, they beat Ashwaubenon 57-47, and Notre Dame, they'll be going to Notre Dame now. Notre Dame got a bye, so they got a chance to sit back and see who they were going to face. Marinette, they took care of business like they were supposed to. They were picked to do so. They were the number 6 seed, and they played the number 11 seed.
Right.
And I thought, you and I were both at that game, I thought overall Marinette played Marinette basketball. And I thought that was the biggest, most important part of that entire game. Marinette didn't do what they normally do, where they'll let a team back into it too much to where it could hurt them. They did a little bit, like we said, they got down to 6 points, but they stepped back up, and the lead, it increased to about 14-ish.
Right, and they won by 10. So. And actually, that's what I predicted, a 10-point victory. So I wasn't sure it was going to get there that way, but they did win by 10. Now they have a tough matchup. You've seen Green Bay Notre Dame. I've heard a lot about them. They have 2 really good players. I'm not sure about the rest of the players exactly, but I know they have 2 top flight players. Tell me a little bit about the guard, and then they have someone down low that's 6'8", right?
Well, they have a point guard named Avery Lyons who averages 14.5 points per game, and that's actually not the most points per game because his teammate Matthew Rader averages 14.6 points per game. So they're both neck and neck.
So those are the leaders.
Yep.
Only at 14. Okay.
Yep.
So I had heard that they're not a very offensive team. They're more defensive minded, and that sort of speaks to that.
Well, and exactly, and you know, when you have Matthew Rader who's 6'8" and a point guard who's 6'2", I I've watched Avery Lyons play the point guard. He's quick, he's smart with the ball, and he knows what he's doing. So I think Marinette is going to have their hands full with that. But Walker Stroming, Tyler Fada, I think they're going to do a pretty good job on him. My question is going to be, I think the X factors are those two. Can they score? Because like you said, Notre Dame is a very defensive-minded team.
Right, exactly. Now, Marinette going into this game, the Marines, they can score. Now, you've seen Green Bay Notre Dame, a very defensive team. Do you think Notre Dame is going to be able to shut Marinette down? Do you think they have what it takes to sort of take care of Marinette's style of basketball?
I don't think any team can really shut down Marinette other than Marinette, to be honest. I think Matt Wagner, if he gets a shot outside, if he gets hot, he's in the gym, he's in range.
Right. The thing about him, too, is he has not been that hot from the three-point line the last 4 or 5 games. Watch out if he is, in these next few games here, hopefully a few games for Marinette. If he gets hot, that changes the dynamics of the team completely.
Well, and the only one that can match up down low with Jake Petzel is probably Matthew Rader, but then can you match up with him outside?
Right.
And that's the thing. That's, I think, going to be the biggest part for Marinette going into this matchup.
Right. And now you can hear that game tomorrow, actually, on Sports Radio 570. I'll be doing the call with Kit Donaldson. That's a 7 p.m. tip-off. Marinette. Now, I'm going to take the Marines in this game. I know I've been talking to a few people, and they're saying, oh, look out for those 2 players on Green Bay Notre Dame. But if you think about it, Notre Dame, they have to deal with Marinette, too. Marinette has some talented players, too. It's not just Green Bay Notre Dame with those 2. The Marines have a lot of talent on their team that the other teams have to deal with. So the coaches and players, they're worried about Jake Petzel. They're worried about Matt Wagner and Jordan Wendt and Stroming and the rest of the game. Marinette has a lot on their team. People have to remember that when they think about these games.
Definitely. And I'm actually going to have to go against Marinette in this one, all because...
I'll be talking to Nick tomorrow, so you just wait.
All because Notre Dame is at home. I think anytime a team is at home, I think they have a 5 to 10 point advantage, depending on the crowd, the refs, everything like that. It's just a swing.
I'm picking Marinette by 5. I was right with the 10. I'm picking them by 5. I think they're going to come through. They're going to do really well in this game, I think. And Marinette never gets blown out. I think it's going to be a close game because Marinette always plays close games, even with any type of team. Even the best teams they play, the games are always close. I just think Jake Petzel is playing a real good brand of basketball right now, playing under control. They're trying to use him down low as much as they can, and when they do, he's unstoppable down there. Now, he's going to be against a 6'8" person, but Jake has a lot of moves. He's used to being double-teamed, triple-teamed. I think he'll have a good game, and I think Marinette wins by 5.
Definitely. And Coach Seminis will have them ready to go. I'm rooting for the Marinette Marines. I want everybody to understand that.
I'll talk to him tomorrow. I'll tell him what you said.
But, like I said, I'm going to have to go with Notre Dame in this one.
Okay, so we're split on that one. Where are we going to go from here?
We're going to Division III. We have the number 6 seed Peshtigo. They're traveling to number 3 seeded Little Chute. Little Chute was 14-4 in the Northeastern Conference. Peshtigo finished 10-5 in the Packerland, and that was their first year in the Packerland. I think we've talked about this before. Coach Mikowski is going to have them ready to go in any game. And Little Chute's a really tough place to play. You actually called there. Yeah, I was going to say you called.
I've been there a lot of times, but I was just there a couple weeks ago. And looking at that game, now I'm a huge fan. You know that. I'm a huge fan of Peshtigo and their basketball team, their program. I'm a huge fan of the coach. And just as I said, Marinette usually doesn't get blown out. Peshtigo really doesn't get blown out either. And actually, their season ended last year in Little Chute. I did that game. I want to pick Peshtigo, but I'm not going to pick Peshtigo. I have to pick Little Chute. Mostly because I've seen that team, and they have Noah Miller. Noah Miller reminds me a lot of Matt Wagner. He likes to do backdoor cuts. He moves without the ball, and he can hit the threes. They also have Keenan Stevens. Now, he didn't play against Marinette the last time due to some problems that he had off the court, but I think he's going to be back, and he is somebody to deal with down low. Now, is he 6'5" or 6'6"? I know
6'6".
6'6". Now, they're going to have to deal with him. Not only does he do damage down low, but he can step outside and hit the 3. So he's a real problem for Peshtigo. Little Chute, a great team, great tradition. Peshtigo has the tradition too. I'm just going to go with Mustangs. I'd like to pick Peshtigo because I'm a real big fan of that program, but I'm going to go with Little Chute, I think.
So I'm going to counteract you a little bit. You said Noah Miller. He plays just like Matt Wagner. I think Peshtigo is going to be extremely... They're going to swarm him like crazy. He averages 18.4 points per game, and the next closest is at 8.1. I think.
Is that Steve? No. They have Sawyer Huss too. I forgot to mention him. So they have a three-headed monster, and he's a big guy. But go ahead.
Yep, and I think the difference between Little Chute and Peshtigo is that their bigs are going to be able to exploit any matchup that they have. I really like Mitchell Van Voorn, and I really like Cameron Ofke. Van Voorn averages the most points on the game at 11.6. Now that should tell you something. Only 11.6. Everybody else, Cam Nofke, he comes up at 9.5. Max Newman at 9.4. So they're pretty even scoring across the board. Defensively, I think they're going to swarm Noah Miller, and I think Keenan Stevens is going to be able to be matched up with Mitch Van Voorn, and I think that may be the difference for Peshtigo. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this.
Are you picking Peshtigo?
I'm going to get a ton of flack for this.
Okay.
I'm picking the Bulldogs in an upset over Little Chute.
So far we've been different on both. We're going to have to come up with something where one of us has to do something, maybe for the NCAA tournament bracket or something like that, where the loser has to do something really bad.
Yeah.
We'll see. But so you're picking Peshtigo. I'm going with Little Chute. But mind you, I do think that's going to be a really close game because Peshtigo muddies up the games the way they play. It's really hard to get away from them. Hard to get away from them.
Our first two matchups here, I think they are going to be phenomenal games.
Yeah, great games.
Yeah.
And I think they'll both be close. It's whoever plays best at the end to pull away. And when I said Marinette by 5, that's the kind of game I'm thinking. A close game, Marinette kind of pulls away at the end, hits a few free throws, and ends up winning by 5. That's how I saw that game.
Yeah, these two games, I think, if you played them tonight, it could be a different story than when you play them tomorrow.
True.
These two games are going to be phenomenal, and I'm excited to see how they play out.
And mind you, I am their play-by-play guy. But anyway, where are we going from here then?
We're going to go to Division 4. We're going to start with Crivets hosting Coleman, and
another great game.
It's a lot of fun because I was at the game last Saturday when Crivets hosted Coleman.
I came after because I did the girls game, so I heard all about that game.
Yeah, and that was hands down one of the best high school games that I've seen in a very long time.
Now Coleman was up by 15, is that right?
They were up by close to 20, I think,
20,
at one point. And Crivets fought their way back. They did what Crivets does. They always fight and claw their way into any game that they're in. And they made it a 2-point game. Austin Marquardt made a free throw at the end. He missed the second one, but that put him up by 2. And Crivets had a shot to win it at the end. Their freshman had about almost a half-court shot and missed it. But that was a prayer anyways. But that was such a phenomenal game. And to get a chance to see that again in playoffs, I'm really looking forward to that.
Now this game is in Crivets again?
Correct.
Okay,
yeah,
it's in Crivets.
Crivets is the 3 seed and Coleman is the 6 seed, and they both shared with Suring the M&O Conference Championship.
So let's recap, just in case we missed anything. I know we said that Peshtigo's on the road against Little Chute, and then Marinette on the road at Green Bay, Notre Dame, and then we have Coleman at Crivets. That's where we're at right now. So that game is actually going to be on Hits 96. You can hear that game at 7 o'clock on Friday as well.
Correct.
So those are our 2 games on the radio. Now, if Marinette somehow bows out and Peshtigo continues, then Kit and I will move on to the Peshtigo team. So, just if you're wondering.
Yeah, and tune into this game if you're unable to make it, the Crivets-Coleman game, because just like I said, the last game was phenomenal. Cole Wolf found a way to score 25 points, and it was funny because I was there with Coach Wickstrom, the UW Marinette head coach, and
he also finds your lack of musical knowledge appalling too.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. But I was there with him, and him and I were talking about Cole, and it's funny because the entire game, you don't realize how many points he racks up until the end. You see 25 points next to his name.
Yeah, there's some guys that are just scorers. Matt Wagner's one of those. You just look up, and all of a sudden he has like 17 really quick. And he just people. There are some players that just gonna rack up the points. Some players, they really have to work hard to get their points. But like Wagner and Wolf and players like that, you just look down and all of a sudden there's 20 points up there for them.
Definitely. And if Austin Marquardt gets hot, they're outside shooting for Coleman, I think this is going to be a team that's going to move on, because what I saw on Saturday, I don't know that Travis Giese is going to have enough against this team. And I love Travis Giese. I think he's a really good player and he plays with a ton of heart. They just did a really nice job on him. They doubled down on him. They made him uncomfortable in his own gym, and that's really tough to do. And their other players really stepped up. Jake Voss had 17 and Charles Johnson had 16. Charles Johnson played a heck of a game that game. Inside, outside, he was hitting threes. He was rebounding the ball. I don't think, we can really say that one team is going to have an edge here.
Right.
Other than maybe a home field advantage, but otherwise.
Based on what you're saying, I'm assuming you're picking Coleman. Is that correct?
I'm actually going to pick Coleman. And
okay.
It's crazy to think that after this long of Coleman being a wrestling dominant school, you're picking them to go to the regional title.
That would be cool, but you know what? Just to disagree with you, I'm going to go with Crivets because I'm going to go with the home team, and I think Travis Geezy, he'll have a bounce-back game, and Crivets, they'll have a bounce-back game. They're going to want to get back at Coleman for last Saturday. The home crowd's going to be loud. I think they're going to get this one. I think it'll be close again. When you play a team that many times in a season, the third time's always going to be close. I think it'll be close, and I'm going to pick Crivets. So you and I opposite on all the games right now. I was sitting here thinking about it. All the people out there in the comments section, you can put in there things you'd like us to do, the loser to do, when we make these picks like that. Maybe you can come up with something. Don't make it too painful, though. I don't plan on losing, but don't make it too painful. We're going to do an NCAA tournament bracket one, and maybe the loser of that will have to do something. But if you have an idea, put it in the comments section. We'll check it out and see if it's legal, first of all. And as long as we don't end up in the emergency room or anything like that. So you have Coleman, I have Crivets. What else we have going on?
I think the next one we're going to agree on. It's number 1 O'Connell hosting number 9 Manawa. O'Connell finished 13-3 in the Packerland, and Manawa finished 10-2 in the Central Wisconsin North. Now that's a pretty good record, but I feel that O'Connell, they're senior heavy. They have Carson Moe, Connor Evan. I think Carson Moe averages 19.8 points per game, and Connor Evan averages 18.8. So I don't see Manawa really giving them too much of a fit.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. I think O'Connell wins that. And actually, O'Connell, that's an impressive team. Even if you put them in a different division, they would have a good shot. Because they have some really good players, some good size, some good skill. So I'm definitely picking them against Manawa.
Yep.
So we agree on that one.
Definitely. So we move on to Division 5. We're going to go with the number 4 seed, St. Thomas Aquinas Academy. They finished 7-9 in the M&O, and they're actually taking on an M&O competitor in Oneida Nation, the number 5 seed. And Oneida surprisingly finished 8-8 in the M&L conference, so they were actually a game ahead of St. Thomas, which I thought was kind of weird because the seeding was the opposite. But St. Thomas has Jack Farley and Tyler Stewart, 2 members of the 1,000-point club. Jack Farley also led the conference in scoring at 26.2 points per game.
Don't forget that point.
Yeah. And head-to-head in the season, they were 1-1. At home, even though St. Thomas only has 8 guys, I think it is, 8 or 9, I'm going to go with St. Thomas and the Cavaliers in this one.
I am too. I'm going with Firepower, Farley and Stewart. I'm definitely going with them. I think they're going to move on. That would be a great game for them to get to.
Yeah, I would love to see them advance. I think they have a really nice set of senior kids on that team. I think all of them are poster children.
And it would actually be a great story. Like you said, only about 8 kids. Last year, I think only 6 kids. So I'm kind of rooting for them to move on, a team with only 8 kids. But 2 of them, like I said, big-time firepower. So I go with St. Thomas on that one. You do too.
Yeah, 1,000-point kids, you got to go with that.
That's right.
Next matchup, number 6, Wasaki at number 3, Green Bay New Lutheran. GB New Lutheran finished 7-9 in the Packerland. Wasaki beat Niagara 58-49 in the first round, and New Lutheran beat Sevastopol. They both played conference opponents in the first round, and they both advanced. Green Bay New Lutheran has Samuel Meerstein, who is a junior, and he is the coach's son. That's his father. He's 6'4", and I think Wasaki is not going to have anybody to match up with him. I find a tough matchup there. He can shoot outside, he can go inside. I have to pick Green Bay New Lutheran on this one.
All right, I agree with you on that one. So we agree on those. So we were against each other for a while there. Now we're with each other on the last few.
Yep. So then the final matchup is number 2 Suring hosting number 7 Three Lakes. Three Lakes finished 6-8 in the Northern Lakes Conference. Number 2 seed Suring, Ryan Mahoney. We've talked about him before. He averaged 23.6 points per game in conference play. That 1-3-1 defense, they throw Caleb Lally up there, who's 6'5" and athletic. It's suffocating. It's tough for offenses to get into a rhythm. I got to take Suring in this one. It's really not even much of a
No, not at all. That's who I'm going with too. So Suring all the way on that game.
Definitely, and that's the final matchup of the WIAA state tournament.
All right, awesome. So that's the boys playoff brackets that we just went through. Thanks for joining us again. Put any comments in the section about the song that Joey missed yet again 2 weeks in a row, or give us comments on things you'd like us to do. The loser, whoever picks the wrong matchups, if you want us to do something, put it in the comments and we'll check it out. Make sure it's legal. Again, that's Joey Sparks. I'm Eric Bergstrom. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.